Thanks for tuning in to Red Belt Radio. The following episode is scheduled for one fall. I'm Jason, and this show is dedicated to World Wonder Ring Stardom. Today I'm covering the most iconic, deadly weapons of Stardom in 2025. These instruments of pain keep winding up inside of the ring, whether they are allowed or forbidden. The evil villains of the faction known as H.A.T.E are usually to blame, but in the chaos of a Stardom fight, you never know who will be wielding one of these brutal accessories. If you find these transmissions valuable, please give this a like, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment to let me know what you think. Today we rank the weapons of Stardom on a tier list, which is based on my new SCARF score. S equals stealthy. How easily can the weapon be hidden from the referee? How quickly can it surprise the opponent and shock the crowd? C equals cool. What more do you need to know? A equals accident free. Can the wielder avoid this weapon backfiring on them or being stolen by the enemy? R equals ref friendly. Can the wielder avoid being disqualified or otherwise penalized by the ref, even if they are seen with the weapon? F equals finish capable. Can this weapon devastate the opponent and end the match outright? Weapons are given a score out of 10 and then placed on the tier list, where they are given an adjusted ranking. Disclaimer: this is all in good, highly subjective fun. There's only one logical place to begin, and that place is within the pages of Fukigen Death's newspaper. Moderately stealthy, as it can be folded, tossed in and out of the ring, and carried in one hand. The newspaper gets extra cool points, since it has over time become one of Fukigen's signature gags. The newspaper attack is a low-risk strategy which shouldn't backfire or cause a disqualification, but it also deals low damage and functions mostly as a minor annoyance. Fukigen's newspaper gets a 6 out of 10, which converts to a C on our tier list. Thekla's belt is next, and this is not a championship belt, but rather a standard leather belt that blends in with Thekla's costume. Highly stealthy, as she can always keep this weapon on her person. Somewhat cool, but perhaps lacking some amount of flair. The belt is very unlikely to strike the wrong target, as it usually is a choking device or a whipping device against opponents who are already down. And while it will upset the referees, it is unlikely to cost anyone a match. Thekla's belt also gets a 6 out of 10, which converts to a C on our tier list. It ranks below the newspaper, as the paper contains added educational value. And now for a classic, the steel chair, used by any number of heel wrestlers in Stardom. Too hefty to be considered highly stealthy, but can still slide in and out of a ring decently well. Utterly cool. A signature weapon, one that often comes with a H.A.T.E logo on the seat. As we all know, accidents can happen with a steel chair, usually in the form of the wrong person being struck by one. The refs may try to take this weapon away, but that only happens if the ref hasn't been obliterated by the chair in the first place. Finishing potential is quite strong, since the steel chair can knock someone out or be placed on the canvas to combo with a finishing move. The steel chair gets a 7 out of 10, which converts to a B on our tier list. Following the steel chair is the steel pipe, carried by Natsuko Tora. There's no way to hide this giant weapon, but it fits the monstrous persona of Natsuko quite well. Its dented appearance is suitably gnarly, but this clunky thing is easy for opponents to grab or duck under, and the refs are just waiting to rule a steel pipe incident a no contest or disqualification. If it does connect, it's probably the end, but this has got to be Natsuko's least powerful weapon. The steel pipe gets a 4 out of 10, which converts to a D on our tier list. Now for one of the most infamous heel weapons. Momo Watanabe's baseball bat. Hard to conceal, but easy to get in and out of the ring. Extremely cool and impossible to separate from our mental image of the villainous Momo. The Achilles heel of this weapon is how often it tends to backfire. It can strike your friend, be ducked under, kicked away, or worst of all, stolen by your opponent and used against you. And although it got her an extremely rare win over Ring of Honor's Athena, Momo's worst enemy may in fact be her own baseball bat. The baseball bat gets a 6 out of 10, which converts to a C on our tier list. We will probably never get an answer to the question, what's in the box? But what we do know is that Ruaka never leaves home without it. The big box frequently gets spotted due to its bulky composition. The box is somehow cool and uncool at the same time. It rarely seems to work and constantly draws aggro from the referees. If the box can actually hit its designated target, you will probably win. But getting that to happen is easier said than done. The box can be caught, kicked, or stolen. And while Ruaka can throw the box to break up pinfalls, she's simultaneously throwing her weapon away. The box gets a 3 out of 10, which converts to a D on our tier list. Natsuko Tora's second weapon is her most devastating, the Blinding Mist. Excellent stealth capability. The refs never have a clue, the opponent rarely sees it coming, and the crowd is often surprised as well. Cool factor is off the charts. The mist comes in dynamic colors and the victims remain marked by the mist long after the battle has ended. The mist can strike friends instead of foes, but it can't really be stolen by the opponent. If you manage to mist your enemy, you'll probably get away with it, and they're probably blind, so you have a gigantic advantage. Sometimes the best weapon is not crushing or loud. Sometimes the best weapon is a virulent cloud. The Blinding Mist gets a 9 out of 10, which converts to an S on our tier list. Somewhat similar to the mist is Konami's spray paint. It's far less stealthy as she needs to hold the can and apply layers of paint continuously for it to work. It's cool because Konami is cool, but I think the paint should come in different colors. In the past, somehow the spray paint has managed to hit the wrong target, but it hasn't earned many disqualifications. An opponent with a painted face is as good as done for, but this weapon doesn't hold a candle to its misty counterpart. The spray paint gets a 6 out of 10, which converts to a C on our tier list. And now for a very, very underrated weapon type in Stardom. This is the improvised weapon, usually generated from the venue itself or from the crowd. Umbrellas, water bottles, towels, signs, and flower bouquets. These weapons are very stealthy because not even the wielder knows they are there until a discovery occurs. They are extremely cool, providing unique fan experiences and sometimes resulting in wrestlers getting choked with their own merchandise. Improvised weapons have a record low rate of backfiring, and the referee AI has yet to be patched, allowing these weapon attacks to take place nearly infinitely. The only weakness of improvised weapons is that they can't seem to win a match outright, but by every other metric, they are magnificent. Improvised weapons get an 8 out of 10, which converts to an A on our tier list. Our final tally has Ruaka's suitcase and Natsuko's steel pipe in D tier, Thekla's belt, Fukigen's newspaper, Konami's spray paint, and Momo's bat in C tier, the steel chair in B tier, improvised weapons in A tier, and above all else, Natsuko's blinding mist in S tier. What weapons do you believe are the most terrifying in Stardom? Which ones have you seen backfire most often? And when will the referee weapon detection patch actually get released? If you found this transmission valuable, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment to let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to Red Belt Radio.